In Nigeria, we have what we call the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. It's commonly referred to as the VAP Act. At the state level, we call it the VAP Law, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. It was first passed at the national level in Nigeria in 2015. Then at the state level, I think it was sometime in 2022 that His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, passed the law, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law of Imo State, which is now known as the VAP Law.
Statistics show that women and girls are more vulnerable and exposed to having these rights being trampled upon. Now, generally speaking, when these rights are trampled upon, we have institutions that should handle the treatment of these violations, these women's rights violations. And in Imo State specifically, we have Ministry of Women Affairs, we have the National Human Rights Commission, we also have the Nigerian Bar Association Human Rights Committee, we have International Federation of Women Lawyers, we have the Child Protection Network, specifically where the rights of the girl child is being trampled upon. We have a host of several NGOs and what we like to call civil society organizations that exist fighting for the protection, promotion, and enforcement of women's rights.
This violence could take place in different places. It could be at the workplace, it could be at home, it could be in schools, it could be in public places. Women are abused in different places. Violence against persons is to be condemned in all entirety. And as a people, we must stand to protect the female and the male vulnerables against violence. If you are exposed to gender violence, which could be from sexual molestation, to rape, to assault, to emotional abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, any form of injustice meted upon you that you think is violating your fundamental human rights and is inflicting, most especially, injury to your physical appearance, then you must take appropriate actions. Even if this is done by a family member, a close associate, a friend, a colleague, do not keep it to yourself.
In Imo State now, we have the Ministry of Women Affairs. This ministry has a place, a department called the Welfare Department, the unit. When you go there, they will listen to you, and the man who abused you, maybe your husband or your fiancé or whosoever, will be invited. When the person is invited, there you will explain what happened, and he will be asked to also explain. And if the man refuses to come, they will go for the man. They will arrest him. And if they arrest him, he will now be forced to come and answer for what he has done. So on that occasion, the man, if found guilty, will face the law.
At the Nigerian Police Force, Imo State Police Command, under the leadership of CP Aboki Danjuma, is highly committed to eradicating every form of violence against women, children, and other vulnerable individuals in the society. And we are committed to partnering with Young Women of Nigeria Empowerment Foundation, human rights groups, and other civil society organizations to ensure that we monitor these matters whenever they are being reported. So we have a specialized unit called the Gender-Based Unit in Imo State, domiciled under the office of the State Criminal Investigations Department. And this office is meant to handle gender-based violence. So we are calling on victims of GBV matters to not hesitate to report at the nearest police station, or they can come over to the State Criminal Investigations Department and make their reports. We are assuring them that the Nigerian Police Force Imo State Command is going to handle this matter with utmost professionalism and confidentiality. And more so, we will make sure that we will continue to expose the suspects involved in this case and equally let people know their new modus operandi. So we are calling on general public to trust us, to report this matter to us. We are closely working with the Ministry of Imo State Women Affairs and other relevant ministries in Imo State to make sure that we put an end to every form of violence against women, children, and other vulnerable groups in our society.